Bienvenue to Maison Goldblum. My name is Emily Goldblum. I will be guiding you through a class that is based in simple, fluid, and balletic movements. I call this technique intuitive stretch fitness. Listen to your body and lean into what your individual needs are for the day. I hope you have a great class. Start standing tall, feet wide apart, lifting your heels up off the ground and bending your knees as you lower them back down and swing your arms from front to back for 20. We're slowly waking up our body and warming up our shoulders. Breathe, swing front and back. Now you're taking your arm circles all the way back with that releve. Reaching your heels up as high as possible, feeling the weight of your body bounce with each rise and lowering down, making it light and controlled when I bend my knees and lifting myself up with power and engagement each time. And now take your arm circles forward for 20, lifting and squeezing your glutes and legs to find your balance and center with each releve. Circle forward and breathe. Now you're going to bend your arms and bring them to your chest and flare out your elbows for standing torso twists. We are here for 20. Keep your legs and body engaged, lifting those kneecaps, navel pressed into spine, and lifting up from your low back, but soften the ribs and shoulders back down. Big inhale and exhale. Wide legs, toes turned out. I will demonstrate our next jumping sequence before we begin. From a wide turned out squat, I want you to jump, bringing your legs together as you cross your right leg in front of your left with those toes slightly angled out, alternating right and left leg in front each time. Here we go for 20. Try and land first with the ball of your foot and then midfoot and lastly your heels for a nice and gentle landing. Breathe. Bend those hips down. Arms come out with each landing. Turning your hips out and using the power in your quads to pop back up from your deep bend. Now, from standing with your feet hip distance apart, toes pointed forward, I want you to jump from one foot to the other while lifting your knees high. And when you land, cross your opposite leg over the leg you just landed on. We are here for 1 minute. You're going to do your best. If you need to catch your breath, take it and then jump right back in. Here we go. You can use your arms to help give you some momentum and lift you up in the air. Knees up, cross that leg in front and tap the toe down onto the floor. Keep jumping from one to the other leg. Nice and light when you land, lifting those knees up. And don't forget to breathe. Keep breathing. You've got this. We're almost there. Keep jumping and switching over from one leg to the other. Well done. Take a big deep breath in. Don't worry, we're slowing it down now. We're going into our next stretches. With your left hand, gently direct your head toward your left shoulder. And with your right hand, press down firmly at the base of the right side of your neck. Diagonally look up and lower your head to look up for 10. Breathe. Look up and down, using that hand to press down the base of your neck, the top of your shoulder. And up. Wonderful. Now let's go to the other side. Take your right hand and place it on the left side of your head to gently direct your head toward your right shoulder. Then, with your left hand, press down firmly at the base of the left side of your neck. Repeat this movement while looking diagonally up and diagonally down toward the floor. This stretch always feels like a massage to me, so I do it a lot. If you've been driving or on a plane for a long time or after a long day on the computer, and I did this one after each time I breastfed the boys because I got a lot of neck cramps from breastfeeding. So hopefully this will help alleviate any neck pain you may be experiencing. Here, I'm going to step my legs wide apart and keep my toes pointed forward. With a flat back, I'm going to hinge forward from my hips and cross my arm, reaching over to the opposite side of my body. We're here for 20. Use blocks or books or a chair to bring the floor up to you if your back is rounding. We are shifting our arm, reaching from side to side over to the floor with a bent over twist. Keep your hips pressing back and up. Straight knees and lift your navel up and in. With each twist, you're shifting your gaze to look up at your opposite hand to keep opening those shoulders and upper back. Now, we're going to hold this twisting position with the opposite hand, your left, reaching across onto the floor and circling your right arm above for 10. Here we go. Reach and circle. 1, 2, and lift the gaze up. Breathe. Deepening the stretch as you slow it down and breathe into your sternum and widen it. Lovely. And now come to center to reach over to your left side with your right hand and place it on the floor. With your left arm, circle it above for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7. Gazing up, pressing those hips back for a deeper hamstring stretch. Lift and circle. Beautiful. I'm taking you into flat back raises for 20. Your options for your arms are hands on your hips or out to the side, or really advanced straight in front of you. You're engaged throughout your entire core, lifting through the navel. Your low back muscles are fired up to lift an inch and lower an inch, keeping your back straight and legs straight. Lift and lower. That's it. Pull up through your navel and lift your body all the way back up to standing once you're done. Up we go. Beautiful, lovely. Now bring your legs together to inhale and lift your arms straight above. You're going to hold on to your left wrist and think of drawing circles with your hands above your head to the right for 8 repetitions. Breathe. Open the ribs and then contract and close them when you circle forward. Lovely. Now exhale, lower your arms down to inhale and lift them back up. Hold on to your right wrist and draw circles to your left. Think of pulling your entire scapula up when you circle in front and pressing those shoulder blades when your circle is on the back part of your body. Really using the opposition of the push and pull, closing your ribs and keeping your shoulders down. Exhale to lower your arms. Inhale to lift your arms overhead. Hold onto your left hand with your right, then lift and elongate your spine to hinge over to your left. And now hinging to your right. When you can go no further, tilt your head up and open your arms wide to help rotate the shoulders open as you bring your torso back to neutral. We're doing 8 on each side. Hinging over, look up, and come to neutral. Not only is this a nice stretch for your upper back, it's good for strong posture. This is a great way to release low back tension. Think of planting the opposite foot firmly into the ground as you hinge over. This will help you balance and give you that extra pull for a deeper stretch on that low back. Open up and come back up to neutral. Arms up, lifting out of the spine, hinging over, look and release back up. Breathe, hinge over, and open to neutral. Over and look up and back to neutral. Lift those arms, hinging over, open up and look. That's it. Find your rhythm here. Keep moving. Look up and come back to standing. That's it. Lifting out of your spine, hinging over, navel's pressed in, squeezing those glutes and hips. Press away, hinge over, look up, release to come back up. Next, bring your feet hip distance apart. Cactus your arms with the palms facing forward and press back, leading with your elbows as you lift your heels off the ground each time. We're here for 25. Really opening up that chest, squeezing those shoulder blades together and back with each time you're pressing those elbows back. Breathe, soften the neck. Next, bring your feet together and hands behind your head. I'm taking you into 10 of my modified body waves. You're going to bend over your knees and you're going to round your back and taking your elbows down, pointing toward the floor. That touch the back of your upper arms onto your knees and glide your elbow up your thigh. As you straighten your legs, you're rolling up and you're opening those elbows to look up. Breathe, lower down, elbows glide, open, reach up, and neutral. Take it down. You want to focus your energy on pressing your hip flexors forward as you straighten your legs and look up. Open and press the hip flexors forward as you arch and come to neutral. This simple yet fluid, repetitive movement will open up your hips, shoulders, chest, and back. Keep moving, open the shoulders, press the hips forward, and look up to engage those abs to bring yourself up. Press, arch, look up, and back to neutral. Breathe. Find your rhythm here. Straighten the legs, press the hips forward, and neutral. Lovely. Now you're going to step your feet out wide, toes facing forward. Swing your arms behind your back and clasp your hands. Dive your chest forward as you press your arms toward the floor in front of you and come into a deep squat. Quickly straighten your legs and back down squat to shoot those arms back up and arch back. Breathe, squat straight all the way up and back to neutral. Squat down, diving that chest forward and lift the hips back to straight. Dive the chest forward, stretch the shoulders down, squat, lifting all the way back up. This should feel somewhat like a body wave. You're moving through the motion, squatting all the way down to straightening those legs and then bending down to lift all the way back to standing. Lower the hips, and lift up, using those hands as they're clasped behind you to really lift and pull you back up as you release the neck back. We've got 20 full reps here. Find your rhythm and don't forget to breathe. Press the shoulders down, hips down to lift all the way, straighten knees, arch back. Dive the chest forward. Beautiful, bend and lift. Really bringing some heat into your body with these reps here. Dive down, hips up, come back down to shoot all the way back up and arch. It's all one fluid motion. Straight legs, bend to squat to lift up, using those quads to power yourself back up. Really warming up those hips, opening up those hips, as well as opening up your shoulders and chest. Breathe, lift up and arch. We're almost there. You can do it. Squat down. Press up. Arch, neutral, and dive that chest forward, really giving it your all. Press all the way up. We are going into our next 3-part exercise, so follow along as I guide you through it. Keeping with a wide stance, you're going to take your right toes out and angle your back toes in for some extra grip as you go into your warrior 2. Bending your front knee and straightening it, lifting those arms each time you straighten your front leg. You want to keep in the back of your mind that you're thinking about tracking your knee in line with your ankle each time you bend. We're here for 10. This active stretch opens your hips, your shoulders, and your lungs, and I often find this awakens my limbs whenever I'm feeling sluggish. Moving into our reverse triangle stretches. Press back as you lift out of your spine. You have several arm options here. You can place your forearm on the back hip, or you can place it on the calf, or you can twist it all the way around the small of your back. Lifting out of the spine to bring your body back and twisting sideways. Really squeezing those inner thighs, squeezing those glutes, keeping yourself centered, balanced in between the 2 legs. Now we're going into our humble warrior. So you're bending that front knee and you're diving the chest forward with the arms clasped behind you. Getting a nice extra stretch in the shoulders here. Breathe and lift up as you engage your abdominals. Straighten the leg and bend. Beautiful. Now we're going to take that all onto your left side. Coming into your warrior 2, taking a nice deep stance, bending the knee and straightening it as you lift those arms up above your head for 10 warrior 2 stretches. Lower it down and lift up. Soften the ribs as you press the navel in. Breathe. Lower down, lower those hips and lift them all the way up. Readjust the back leg And now you're going to straighten your front leg fully, and you're going to take 10 reverse triangle stretches, squeezing your glutes and wrapping your outer thighs back. Soften your ribs to avoid arching from your low back. I want you to lift up out of your spine and then bend back, taking your arch into a reverse triangle. Lift and arch. Remember your arm options. You can rest the forearm on the hip. And now we're going into our humble warrior. Straighten that leg in front to bend it as you dive your chest forward. And straighten the knee to bend forward. This is a great stretch to repeat as many times as you would enjoy it. It really fires up your core and strengthens your proprioceptive awareness. What I mean by that is finding and keeping your balance as you bring your head inverted. This will challenge your sense of where your body is in space. It's really good for your balance and your core. Stretching those hips as you lower down, bending the knee and straightening it back up. Nice and fluid. Wonderful. Now we're going to come down onto all fours in our tabletop for some shoulder stretches. Take your right arm up to the ceiling and lower it back behind toward your bottom. And look at that arm. Lower and lift. Lower it, and now thread the needle in between your left arm and thighs as you lift the left arm up toward the sky and pulse it back to the opposite side of the floor. You can take a bind here and you release your hips down into child's pose, stretching that shoulder that's on the ground. Breathe into it. Let your rib cage expand with each inhale. Now release, come out, and we're switching sides. Bring your left arm straight above and bring your gaze toward your left hand as you lower it and raise it up to the sky. We're here for 8. Inhale and exhale. Lower it down and up. Take your left arm and thread the needle under your right arm. Right arm goes up into the air to pulse it toward your left side for 4 pulses. Now take that right arm and find a bind behind your back as you release your hips toward your heels for a twisted child's pose, and breathe into it. So good. Now, you're coming to your tabletop, and from your tabletop pose, we're going into cat-cow circles towards your right for 5. And this is really for you. I want you to move freely here. Look within to sort of discover what your body intuitively needs. Now take it to your left for 5 circular cat-cows. Lifting the shoulder blades up and out as you round the back and arch it back down. Great. From here, walk your feet back a few steps to come into a forearm plank. We're here for 15, and you're lifting those heels up and down. Lowering and lifting, stretching those calves and your shoulders, as well as working your tricep muscles. Release those heels as far as they'll go down for you. There's no right way. You don't have to touch the floor with your heels. This is about your stretch class for your body. Lift up and lower down, all the way reaching up at the very top of your toes. and lowering them down, extending and lifting. Now you're going to walk those feet back a few steps to come into your forearm plank. These are my forearm plank body waves. We're doing 15. So you're going to start with your abdominal muscles engaged and lifted. Now open the rib cage and lower your hip bones down to touch the floor into a baby cobra, to tilt your chin up or extend your neck back. To come back up to your forearm plank, re-engage your abs, your low back, and press into your forearms into the floor as you drive those hips back up into a neutral forearm plank. Repeat this entire fluid movement at your own pace. You're doing 15. Lower the hips, lift the chin, and then drive those hips back up with full engagement of your core. Lift, hips come up with this purposeful sharpness as you exhale. Lower those hips, look up, and lift and look down. Lower the hips to look up, and as you lift the hips, your head looks down. Pressing into the floor, forearms are pressing down, palms of your hands are pressing down. You're going to lower those hips and keep them down onto the floor to come to laying on your belly. I want you to press your left forearm into the floor to lift that chest up and reach around with your right arm to your left ankle. And as you can see, you can use a prop with a towel or a strap to extend the arm to your ankle. You're here for 20. You're lowering and lifting that leg while stretching your right shoulder. Your left thighs lifting off the floor as you squeeze those glutes. Breathe into it, and if you need, you can lower your forehead down onto your forearm if it's too much of a stretch for you in that low back. Breathe. Lovely. Now pressing your left hip heavy into the ground, I want you to lift the other leg straight up and down, squeezing your glutes and your back for 20. You can adjust your left hand closer in toward your chest and push up if you'd like. Now bring your left palm of your hand next to your chest, and we're doing one arm push-ups here on your belly with that right arm stretched back and holding on to your ankle. We're here for 10. It's not long. Keep your elbow bending in close to your side to avoid letting it flare out. Breathe. Nice long neck. Lower and lift. And now we're switching it onto the other side. Breathe and take your left arm all the way back to your right ankle. Lift the thigh up off the ground and lower. Don't forget your props if you need them. A towel will do, or a strap. Really squeezing those glutes, lifting up off the ground, stretching that hip flexor. Lovely. Lower and lift. Down and up. Now you're going to really drive your right hip down so that you can lift your left leg straight up off the floor with a nice straight leg. Long neck, you can look down or straight ahead. We're here for 20. Breathe and lift. Lower. Lower it with control. Don't let it flop down. Beautiful. Now bring your right hand towards your chest in the center as you push your whole entire chest and torso away from the floor for our one-arm push-ups with a nice shoulder stretch. Lower down, and again, think of pressing that elbow back and in towards your right side, keeping it close in towards your body. Lift up, lower slowly. Lift up and lower. Wonderful. Now I want you to come sitting tall on your knees. We're going into camel pose with a twist. So lift those hands all the way up and then release your right arm down and across toward your opposite heel. And as you can see in the modification, you can put blocks in between your ankles so that you're bringing the floor closer to your hand as you twist back. Reaching back and using those abdominal muscles to lift your torso and chest all the way straight back up to neutral. Lift up and reach back. Lift up and take the other hand back, alternating from side to side. Really, this whole class, we've been opening up our chest and shoulders, and this is culminating into the end, really reaching and stretching open your upper back. You should be nice and warm. Breathing in, lifting that chest up toward the sky as you reach across. Keep moving, lift, and wonderful. You're coming to sitting. You're going to roll your body down, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming onto your back. You're squeezing those ankles together to hover and lift it off the floor into our sit-ups. We're going for 50. Do your best. So you're in a straddle position on your back and you're squeezing those glutes, you're squeezing those abs. I want you to really think of pressing the small of your back into the floor. Try not to let a huge gap happen here, an arching of the low back. Press the navel down into the floor really firmly, engaging those inner thighs, reaching those hands in between those legs toward the floor. Breathe and squeeze up, lift up. We're almost there. You can do it. You've got this. This is our last few pushes before the end of class. Lift those shoulder blades off the floor and now squeeze those ankles together. And you're going to lower the legs straight, sending everything out, hovering off the floor, and you're alternating right and left leg above one another. Switch and engage those quads, straightening those knees. Arms can be behind your head, straight above your head, or you can also bring your arms next to your body. Beautiful. Now come up to boat pose and extend your left arm across your body to reach either your calf or your right ankle for a little mini twist here. Breathe into it, lifting that sternum up toward the sky, using your quads, really engaging through the backs of your knees so you can have a straight knee. Press the small of your back in towards your thighs and your thighs in towards your belly. And if you can't straighten your knees here, that's fine too. Bend them and then hold onto your calf. Breathe and twist. Beautiful. Now we're going to take your left arm across for our next sequence, and you're going to bend that left knee and point it down towards the floor and lift. Now switch to the other side. Lower your right toes down as you bend that right knee down. Squeezing together, squeezing those ankles, and take it down and lift. Now, send everything back down to the floor, legs and arms, and take one last inhalation, exhalation, relax down. Let your muscles melt into the floor, and you can take a 3-minute visualization of something that brings you joy or peace, because, we really deserve it after all that hard work. Thank you very much for joining me today with class, and I hope to see you all soon.